Hey guys, thanks for showing up today. We're gonna, kind of go over a couple things in terms of the GMB poster Henrik's been working on and images, and we've had a real big push on the image program, the last week, and so we thought we'd follow it up with a little bit, of information about that within the GMB poster, and so Henrik's got some, good things to share. And just a couple of new little tool that he found to help us out. So everybody hear me okay? Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Henrik, it's all yours. I'll just monitor questions and we'll just let you roll and have some fun.
Okay. Thank you very much, and welcome to this little improvised webinar. We have been working quite hard on Chris has been working really hard on updating the GMB poster. The reason why is that we used to upload images in the scheduler to the D drive, and by that we could maintain the metadata within the images that we uploaded. But Google changed a lot of things in terms of the API, and Chris had to rework it again, and actually he had finalized this this morning. But one of the things that we had an issue with was that you will see status errors in terms of date and time schedules. And that was normally, or just an error, and that would normally have been created by, it couldn't find the URL for the image. So now we have a button here, say repair all image URLs, and when you hit that, you should get a dialog up here saying that it is, coming up here saying, okay, I'm repairing now, so don't do anything until you see this being closed, and you could see that the dialog closed, so it should have updated the broken URLs in the database.
Cool.
So what happens when you get a post like this? So what I do is I just go here and I'll say edit the selected, so I'll load the post. And when you go to the content, you will see the post will be loaded. And what if I had chosen a URL, or if there had been a URL attached to it, you would have seen the URL here and you will see the picture down here. So I'm just going to choose one for this one and put it into a silo. And instead of updating the post because it was an error, then I just hit post, and it should now load the post to the GMB, and I'll go back here. The post will still be there, so I just remove this post because it has been posted to the GMB, which I'm quite sure of. And I'll do that for the rest of the post that has gone wrong here. So that's basically the idea about it. And when we're talking about images, you know that it's very important that you optimize your images, and we can do that in the GMB. So if I'm going in here, I'll go and add an image like this one. And if I then go to the image tab, you can see I have already inserted some information in here, keywords, credits, origin, copyrights, creator contacts, and EXIF data. So if you don't do it in here, you might have an arsenal of images that you want to prepare for your posting. And what I did today, I found a very nifty little tool called Metadata Plus Plus. Metadata Plus Plus has quite some fancy tools up here. So if I'm going to the image that I chose before, you can see I have the metadata panel, and it will shows me over here all the fields where we have stuffed data into it. Quite neat. Then I have a lot an icon. It's called the map panel. So if I hit here,
Yeah, but what does that come from? Is that from this tool?
this is from this tool here.
Okay.
So what it should show me here, which it doesn't for one reason, is that if I go for the GPS section over here, you can see here that the GPS latitude has been stuffed into it and the longitude has been set into it.
Mm-hmm.
But if we take a look at the other informations in here, can you see this one?
Mm-hmm.
GPS distance. So if I had done a driving direction, I could go in and put in here, if I double click sorry, it's down here, the latitude for the destination and the longitude as well for the destination. So I actually get geo coordinates both for my GMB, which is down here, but also for the destination point or the arriving point. So I thought that was actually quite cool that you could do that.
Hmm. Well, that's
So
pretty nice. Yeah.
have anybody seen this tool before? Give me a one if you have, and maybe
I have not seen it.
so
Paul
Paul
has
has.
seen it.
Yeah,
Paul
yeah,
says he's seen it.
yeah.
And you've used it before, Paul? Simple. Yeah, Paul says yes, he's used it. Simple and clean.
Yep.
Well, now this is where I get to scold you, Paul, for keeping things to yourself and not sharing. We're supposed to share what we know with everybody. So, okay. So that's a nice little tool.
Yeah, and of course you can go in, you can check the XMP data, take a look
Mm-hmm.
at all the fields which is in there.
It's got IPTC.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask everybody a question when it comes to this. And if you've been watching anything that we've been doing this week, you probably will know the answer. But why is it, and I want everybody to kind of answer this if you can, but why is it that when we take all the time to optimize an image from a metadata perspective, and do all the things that are right, and then we put it into some viewer, or we look at the image and details and properties, and we don't see any information in there. you know does anybody have that happen to them and they think there's nothing there, or you know you just think that we're telling you that that data is there even though you can't see it, but it's still there? So the answer to the question is that all of these various types of tools, like what Henrik is sharing with you here, and three or four other tools that we have, and we'll put links in here for everybody, is that certain tools only look at certain things, right, Henrik?
Yep.
So if you look at a EXIF tool, it's only going to look at EXIF, and it's not going to look at XMPT or XMP data, or IIM data, which is what Google looks for. So I think it's the tool much of the time. Yeah, Scott, that's it. It's exactly the tool, right? It's only designed to see certain data. And so, we have these discussions like within SaaS right now, people are, they're making all these images and they're stuffing, 23 different fields of data, and then they're, getting the image out and they're looking at it and they're saying, where's all, I thought you said that we were, stuffing these images, right? And the simple fact is you're just looking at it through the wrong lens of, what tool that you're using is only seeing what it wants to see, not what is actually there, right? And sometimes it deletes the metadata, Paul, but the tools that we have do not do that. But you are right. We just found out this week that one of the social sites that we have set up in the SaaS program for stacking, Imgur deletes all the damn data, and it didn't before, but now it does, except for a few fields in EXIF, which is copyright and a few things. But so that defeats the whole purpose of what we're trying to accomplish. So we have to go find. Now Flickr, on the other hand, retains all that so far from our testing, retains all that data. So, Paul and Scott are right. It depends on the tool, and it also depends where the image has been hosted or is residing as to whether or not that particular storage place removes the data. And you have to always check it to make sure. So, Henrik, go ahead.
If we're talking about the GMB, before we were able to maintain the data on uploads. But if I go here and take the GMB URLs, get the media links, and just take one of these and go to another program where I want to check, it's called Get Media Data. If you go in here and you enter the URL, you'll see when we start analyzing, that this one doesn't have any, right?
Mm-hmm.
It used to keep.
Well, it's got a few. It's got a little bit in there.
It got a few in them, but if I'm taking the one I just uploaded,
go to a different tool.
This one, go back here. This one should actually show me most of them. That's nothing, right?
Right.
So the one I showed you from down here is one of those that has been posted before, and as you can see, it resides here in the Google uncategorized album, whereas these was located in the Google Drive folders that the GMB created. So that's the difference. And unfortunately, the Google changed some of the rules, and there was only one thing to do. That was to come up with a solution that could help us on this level.
Right. So that, when you add the the image is in here and you optimize the data in here within the GMB tool, and then upload that image, to the GMB itself, where they're storing all the photos, the metadata is carried this way. Is that still true? And it's not carried if you just load it up outside of this API.
No, it used to. It does. It will be read by Google now.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will be stripped off. we used to be able to maintain the metadata. That was one of the big benefits of the GMB poster. We'll of course see if we can tweak it so we can come back to the, let's say, the benefit of having the metadata kept, but we'll have to find a solution for that.
Okay. Well, we're always working on it. So if
Yeah.
there's ways to get it done, we will. Do you know whether or not, like, you know, Google Cloud or Azure or Amazon, what happens because they're storage facilities, right? What
Yeah.
happens to your data when you just store your file in a bucket with Amazon?
They keep the information.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if we're paying for storage and we're storing our data and storing our images and we're storing, you know, all of our stuff, I don't really understand why they seem to have the right to strip out any data from our stuff that we're storing and paying to store on their sites. So why
And
do you think some of these people do that?
the drive photos, they maintained the metadata, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here we have to post it up into the GMB in itself. And if you looked at the, you can see here, this one is posted in a different place than this one,
Right,
right?
right.
So what Google says, well, it's within their house, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Then they said, okay, we want to strip the data because we want to compress it as much as possible. But they read the data. They read the data.
Mm-hmm. So you're not losing the availability for them to understand the data that's there.
No, let's say
Right.
if they understand that this is actually a location which is
Mm-hmm.
50 degrees north and X degrees east, then they'll know, they'll stamp it there.
Right. Yeah,
So
it's really a science, isn't it? I mean, it's not something that, you know, we can take lightly, because it's very important. Matter of fact, there's a post in the SAS room today about, you know, from Yoast, right, about image optimization and what it means and how to do it. And I think the simple explanation is Mueller's full of shit. That's my simple explanation. I like this comment. How do you do this, Henrik? How do you reserve the right to use the metadata to determine what the image is about? What is reserve the right? It's an algorithm. So is there a quote unquote reserve the right in the algorithm that says, oh, we may or may not do that today because we may reserve the right to or not reserve the right to?
no, but you know that Jerry Ives was out. Was it in April this year,
Mm-hmm.
where he spoke about that we didn't understand the the possibilities within image search, and a lot of SEO people didn't actually look into it. And the general, let's say, the general assumption is that you just put in stuff in a lot of keywords, and then hopefully Google will read those and associate that with the picture and your entity. I did a ranking of a page where I put in the on-page
Mm-hmm.
information, but because I took the time to describe the image in detail,
Right.
and because the search query was, so we were actually having a page on Common Sense SEO, and the search term was local SEO Lincoln UK,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to avoid Nebraska.
Right. Exactly.
So what Google decided to show in the meta description was not my meta description for the page, but was actually the alt text description for
Hmm.
that particular image, which was located in a spot where the surrounding information also
Supported it, right?
supported the query.
Hmm.
So I think that's what Mueller is saying, or Mueller is saying, that okay, we reserve the right to use the metadata, but they read everything. They'll
Yeah.
read the page metadata. They'll read the image alt tags. They will say, okay, is that has the metadata data, which is the alt data, is that more relevant to the search query than the shit I put into the meta description?
Right.
And apparently they sorted. So we just have to optimize everything properly, and then we'll be the good guys.
Well, if
So
you
we,
do exactly what you're saying, right,
yeah,
and you put really relevant semantic data within your image and you fill all the various fields out that you can properly, like we do with SAS and a tool we built, or the WordPress one, and then you have supporting data content around that image, right? So that the supporting data on page supports the metadata image, and then you bring your, say, your YouTube video in, where your description of your YouTube video is complementary to the data within the image and the data that's on the page, right? And the titles are the same, and then you optimize the backside of the YouTube image, with relevant semantically related content and external links out to to authority sites. Then Google, really has no opportunity to not know what your page is all about. And I think that's what you're trying to say, right?
yeah, you have to connect the dots, and the way you're helping Google to do that is to first of all do your schema, proper schema. So if you have a page, you might have schema for that. This is a web page, what the web page is about, the
Mm-hmm.
author of the post, etc., etc. But in the post, you have the video, so you have added either microdata or schema
Mm-hmm.
about the video. So you actually connect the dots for Google, saying, okay, this video has a description where it says it's about this and this and this and that.
Right.
And by stacking that flow of metadata into the rank brain and to the hummingbird and
Whatever else they have. Yeah.
the each, you stack those three algorithms, and then they will get a good feeling of what your page is about, and you will presumably rank high.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I was telling you earlier today, within the SAS platform, we had somebody that wanted to try to not rank, but wanted to include schema, into the image, into the metadata of the image, right?
Yep.
And so they tried, and they, put it in various fields, that we have in the template in SAS, and, then use their visual tool to see whether or not that schema took. Well, according to them, it didn't take. So Richard and I got on a call with them and did our own little test, within the platform, but by utilizing one of, like, a tool like you have right here. We have a different tool, but we were able to see what Google actually sees in that image with that schema code, actually in 4 different places in the fields that we filled out.
Yeah, but it's you can put in whatever you like of schema, but if the schema doesn't relate to the image in itself
Mm-hmm.
or to the page which the image is on, then Google will ignore it.
Yeah.
We know that for a fact.
Oh, and in fact, you wouldn't want to do that anyway, because the schema itself is designed to do exactly what you just said, and you don't want to put in, coffee shop schema for, a car lot. I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right?
No, no, no.
So, but when you do those types of things and add together what you were saying before, then everything kind of fits together. All the nuts fit all the bolts, and they all put the transmission in the car, and you turn the key on and drive away.
Yeah.
So,
But I think it's important that people understand in relation to schema
mhm.
that whenever you put schema on your page, the schema has to describe what's the data which is on the page. If it describes something else, Google will ignore it.
Right. I get it.
So
So,
some is trying to manipulate schema by stuffing in a lot and hope for the best, which actually doesn't help them at all.
right. So
So
do we always place schema, maybe same as, into the image description field at the beginning or append to the end? Scott, we're going to actually make a document up that shows exactly which fields, whether it be EXIF fields, XMP fields, or IIM fields, within those particular brackets where you can put the data for a schema for it to actually get embedded into the image and be able to be read in its entirety, without any broken lines or broken code or anything else, so that just like Google would see that schema on a web page, you're going to see that schema within the image. And so we're gonna have a document with the various fields that you can just copy and paste that schema right into that spot with some of the tools that are available, and it will stick and they will read it. So that's coming. We did that today. So, but I like this little tool here. What are some of the other things that you can do with this one here?
let me just one of the tricky thing about this tool is, for instance, when you want to put in the GPS latitude and GPS longitude, you have to put it in this format, which is the, what do you call it? Not the decimal format, but the ordinary format, or whatever they call it. But
Mhm,
I found this little website called latlong.net.
mhm.
So I just grabbed it from my GMB, the latitude and the longitude, and converted it. And then I took these little suckers and
What's
put in a
what's
DNS.
DNS?
Yeah. So I put those in, and it took that. So it's called latlong.net, and it
Degree,
has,
minutes, and seconds. Okay.
and you
All
can see
right.
up here it has different conversions which it can make. So quite a nice little tool as well.
So we need to copy that address and put that into chat for everybody. And if you guys ever, if you guys are coming up with some other things as well, it would be nice for you to share with us, what you're using. And the more we can build resource tools out to help, identify these types of things, it will go better for all of us. And that's what we rely on you guys to let us know what some of the things that you're using, Paul, so that we can share it with other people and they can have the same experiences and not struggle as much just because they don't have the proper tools. Does that make sense to everybody? So how many people right here right now do not or did not buy into the SaaS program or missed the opportunity? Is anybody in here missed that opportunity, because we shut it down too quickly on you, or you did not get it and did want to pick it up? Give me a 1 if you bought it and a 2 if you didn't. How about that? Okay. Okay, so quite a few people did not. Okay, well, we turned it off. It was over and done with on Tuesday. So the price is doubled on it. But for those of you that are here with me today, I talked to Gary. If you want to pick it up, I'll open up the codes. Actually, I opened them up earlier this afternoon for the discount codes, and they're right on the page at the very bottom. But I'm only going to leave them open for like a day, just basically because it's coming up on the holidays. I know people are kind of traveling around, and I had a number of people yesterday. Oh, I was this, I missed it. I had it ready to buy, and then I got distracted and whatever, and I missed the opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up for everybody. It's imageseofactory.com, and the codes are on the bottom of the page. So I strongly suggest that if you don't have and haven't participated, you're going to want to pick that up, because after the next day or so that I close this down, the price is going to double and go back up to what you see on the page. And we're getting a lot of really great results, like Henrik, what you're talking about is bringing that relevant information in there and filling out the fields that we know that Google's going to read. And we're actually seeing tests where people are just using, you've seen them in there, Henrik, as well. They're doing tests just on the image and the optimizing the image and seeing through their testing tools that the positions of their sites are moving and jogging, based on nothing more than just using optimized images and changing the data and so forth. So we know that it makes a difference.
Yeah.
We also know how many key phrases can we put into one image, Samuel? As many as you want. In certain fields, it's an endless pit. So plus you can spin them. You can take one image and you can change the pixels, and you could make 50 images out of one image, and all the metadata is all spun and changed. And if you were to try to do that by hand, it would be retarded and ridiculous, and you wouldn't do it. And quite frankly, you don't do it now. And if anybody tells me they're going to optimize 50 images, I'm going to, send the international police over with a lie detector test, because, maybe 1/10 of 1/1,000,000th of a percent of people actually do that. So it allows you to do this in bulk. It allows us to fill all of the field. We're 23 fields that we're filling out with the SaaS program, 23. So we know we're getting EXIF, we're getting XMP, we're getting IMM data, we're getting, all the various ways in which this data is being seen. We're filling it out in some way, shape, and form within that tool so that data gets read. Keyword field we stuff with code. Correct. We actually stuff the keyword field with the schema code, Henrik. Was one of the fields that allows us to do that. How close on the SaaS are we to auto silo? Well, we have in there 3 social sites right now: Flickr, Imgur, and Image Shack. Imgur is going to come out, and what Scott's asking us is that we're building stacking into the program so that you can take an image, and you can take the URL of that image and put it into another one, just like we do with RFR stacking or stacking of posts, right? We're building a complete image stacking process, and we're going to be adding Amazon and Google and Azure and double checking to see which ones are holding all the metadata and the XMP data as well, right? So, Scott, that's fairly close. That's within a couple weeks, I think, maybe, 2-3 weeks. And then we're also going to be adding, after we finish that, all of the metadata that we can stuff into the backside of a YouTube video. Everybody thinks of optimizing a YouTube video, Henrik, and what are the 4 things everybody optimizes in a YouTube video? Actually, there's 5. And they think that they're optimizing their image because they've got description, they got tags, they got title, and they 99% of the time never even think about optimizing their what? Thumbnail video.
Yeah.
But if you flip that video over on the back side of it, just like you flip an image over on the back side of it, we can stuff and optimize that YouTube with EXIF and metadata on the back side of that video, just like we can do the same thing with a PDF.
And you have the video in itself, you have the thumbnail in itself, and you have, say, a thumbnail for your channel as well. So there is 3 different ways that you can actually optimize it.
Exactly, right? So that's going to be part of the process as the SaaS as well. It's part of that. So we're really building out something that's robust, that's going to make it easy for us to be ahead of the curve and ahead of everybody else. Because nobody's going to be doing all the things that you're going to be doing or can do with your images, and it is definitely making a difference, and we can see that it's helping to move the needle one way or the other. We're seeing action that's moving just simply based on the fact that we're optimizing the images in relationship to the site. So if you don't have it really strongly, it's going to be one of those things like, oh my gosh, I wish I never had not forgot to buy this one. It's that good. So the codes are on the page, and it's about 50% off right now. So I would strongly urge spinning. Paul, yes, it spins everything. I mean, there are certain fields you can't spin, okay? But most of the fields that are important to us, data-wise, we can spin them, okay? And like I said, you can't spin every single field, but you don't want to spin every single field, okay? One of the other things, Henrik, I think, you saw that we're going to do is we're going to be building a database of phones, lenses, apertures, this type of thing, so that information can be uploaded into, a special section where when you take an image on your phone and you load it up, you have all your phone information on that image, right?
Yep.
And
but one have to be careful, because normally the program which is changing the metadata information sometimes stamp it, so that you, for instance, if you're using the EXIF Pro, it will, or there's one of the programs that's put in the stamp that has been changed by that program. So we have to be careful that we're not just saying, okay, this is an apple, and then you can see, okay, actually the picture was made by whatever.
Right. No, I mean, there's certain things you have to be careful of, but as long as we do it correctly, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's just like anything else. Somebody will figure out a way to abuse something, right? So Sam's asking, so in a keyword phrase field, I've put Spintex in as one keyword phrase per pipe bar separator. I'm only finding one key phrase being installed. Well, if you put in 12 images, and 12 keywords, you'll have 12 instances, because it's only going to spin one of those keywords that's in the spin text into your field. Make sense? So that's why we can make 20 or 30 or 40 images, from that perspective. We also just added the bulk uploader. So if you want to, upload 20 different images, then you can do that as well. So imageSEOfactory.com, it's in there, please, at least take a shot and go take a look at it. Don't let that one pass by. But everything that we do there, we can bring over here. Everything we do in Ranking Factory, we can use for Backlink Factory. Take an image of the driving directions, like Henrik is showing here, and then optimize that driving direction image. I mean, it's just unlimited what we can do with it, right, Henrik?
Yeah, that was what I would say, because here I'm driving from Chestnut Street to Billingham. So if I go back here, you can see I will put in the destination latitude and the longitude up here. And I could put in the distance in kilometers and things like that. So actually you can stuff in quite a lot of information with this little tool here.
Yeah, no, that's a nice little tool. Richard, are you taking note of that, sir? Add that to our arsenal of
And if
tools
you want
we
to
can use.
modify, you can go and modify or remove comments, and you can add it to multiple files within the folders here, apparently. You can make batch processing here as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I haven't, as I said, I did not play too much with it. I just found it this afternoon. So, oh, what's that? Videos.
What's the URL? You said metadata plus, or?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, cool, thanks.
So it's in there.
So did you see something about a video there you can pull down? What was that?
No, it said select files. This one here.
Yeah.
It said videos and audios, which means that I must be able to manipulate both videos and MP3 files as well.
Which
That's
you can
cool.
pull from the voice factory, right?
Yeah.
And do all this. Yeah, cool. All right, very good. Awesome stuff. I wanted to keep this short today, but just bring a little bit of a instance of the images and how you can use it. But I think if you go back to what Henrik was talking about. Oh, what's that?
No, I just want to remind the guys who have the GMB Mega Poster that use the GMB Q&A. So you can go in, create the question yourself. Create the question.
Yeah, it's not showing up on our side though. Oh, down there. Do you do deep cleans? Oh, I see it.
Okay. And then you can go up, select it, and then you can answer it yourself.
And then that'll post right to the knowledge panel, right?
It will be posted directly to the knowledge panel. So maybe we can stuff in like we can in the reviews. Hashtags. I don't know how much that will help, but you can put them below your answer.
And here's the interesting thing. How many of you guys are using the Q&A? Give me, just one if you are, two if you're not. Because if you're not, then you're basically part of the group of people that are losing the opportunity to get an advantage. If you go check your competition and look and see in their knowledge panel, the Q&A, you're going to notice most of them are not doing it. Or if they are, there might be one, might be two. And, I did this the other day for my carpet cleaner, that guy that we're working on. And, I showed him that not a single one of his competitors is doing Q&A, and as well as him. Okay. And it's just an awesome opportunity that Henrik, like you said, if Google gives us the opportunity to do something, we should probably do it, right? And
Yeah,
so we built that function in here for everybody to be able to do that for your customers and clients. And if you use the Q&A tool that we put forth a couple months ago, or just go copy and paste the questions and answers directly from the search itself, modify them and make them your own answers for your own company, you'll notice a difference. And I even saw the other day where one of those questions actually popped up in a 3-pack as well,
that's
underneath
cool.
the, underneath
Yeah.
the information on the left hand side, right?
Yeah, because Google will like either you see they'll take a little bit from the post or from a review or from the
Mm-hmm.
Q&A that'll be shown down.
Right. So just think, if once again, relevancy, you've got the question and answer on your knowledge panel, and then you do a post based on that question and answer that goes up into your post, right? And then you have an image that talks about that question and the metadata for that answer, once again, on your page or in your biz page for your Google site, it becomes relevance, right? And that's what Google's really looking for.
Yeah.
I think everybody's embarrassed to answer that question when I said if they're using it or not. I only had 2 people that said yes. I'm assuming everybody else is a no. So yeah, it's powerful, guys. It's super powerful.
Use it. And you
So
have it just in front of you.
so here's a question, Henrik.
Yeah.
Okay, you have all those posts and you have all those post links, right?
Yeah.
So why can't you take all those post links, okay, and put them as metadata in your image?
I could.
You could, in the description part, right?
Yeah.
Or other fields that allow it.
Yeah.
And Google's going to follow that link. They're going to know what it is. And so you have another opportunity to copy those posts and put them into, right there, copy every one of them.
This is only the media links here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I clear that, I can go up here again and get all my site live links.
It's taking a minute because you have quite
Yeah.
a few, right?
Yeah.
It says update successful.
I don't know what's happening.
Might be froze up.
Yeah, it could be my connection or whatever.
Mm-hmm. But the point is that all this information that you have in here available
Use it.
for
Yeah.
you,
Put it
use
to
it,
sheet.
man. Just take it
Yeah,
over to Sheets. Do it. It's there to help everybody, right?
exactly. So if you take all the live post links, put them into a sheet, take the URL from that sheet, use that within the backlink factory, which means that you go out a tier
Mm,
uh, on that, and then you can start pushing a little bit, and then on the output of that, you take a new campaign on the backlink factory and you blast it.
yeah. Keith is saying that doing what you're trying to do, updating posts by account, takes forever to update on his side too. So it just takes a while.
Yeah.
Just have to have some patience, right?
We have
All
too
right.
much in it.
Yeah. Any other last questions that anybody have any questions whatever related to the GMB poster that Hendrik can answer for you, or I can answer? Any other questions? Period. No matter what, based on scheduled posts, post by account, content, you know, um, Q&A, silos, images, whatever. Any questions? Everybody's an expert, right? I guess everybody's an expert today. Can we drip reviews? There we go. Can you do drip reviews?
No, because you can't post a review yourselves. They have to come from our side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to liaise with local guides or whatever you want, and ask them to drop by and give you a review from time to time.
Right. This is 1.9 here, and this is the newest one from today, right, Henrik?
Yeah, the 9.0 is the one that you are going to put out on the
Yes.
documents.
Yep. We got it this
Half an
morning.
hour in half an hour old or something like that.
Oh, is that like a declarative statement that says Patrick will do that and not forget? Is that what you're trying to say?
Never said that.
Oh, okay. I got you. No worries. Yeah. But yes, we'll have it out. I'll have it out in the Google Documents, and I'll post it in their room as well. So we are good. New article on how to use images. What's that one? Content marketing, image search. Okay. Can you pop that someplace where we can snag it?
I can snag it here.
You can get it? Okay. Yeah, because I can't get it from where I'm at.
I think I can.
Paul, put it in my Skype afterwards, if you will, please. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Paul. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any other questions or any other comments, we're not going to have anything next week at all, simply because here will be our Thanksgiving, I believe. I'm pretty sure of that. So we're not going to have anything next week. And I know Gary and I are trying to come up with something for Black Friday, but it's kind of hard to do that. Just urge everybody to go over to, Image SEO Factory, take a look at the video that we have on there, and just don't miss out on the opportunity, okay? All right, Gaynor, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Everybody have a good one. Thank you, Henrik. Really appreciate you coming in today. All right, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.